Welcome, collectors. Thank you very much for joining me for another new edition of Diecast Emporium, or I should say, in this case, for today's video, Brass Emporium. We are going to be taking a look at not one, but two classic construction models, CAT LGP bulldozers in 1/48 scale, made almost entirely of brass. We will be taking a look at the CAT D5C LGP first, so let's not waste any more time. We'll start out with him. So this model was actually released first in the order of things back in the year 2001. This is the packaging that it came in. Both of these models I purchased new from a CCM dealer. Here is CAT D5C LGP track-type tractor on it, the CAT logo. There's obviously the very nice and attractive outline drawing of the real machine, the old style CCM logo up on top. Here, CAT D5C LGP Series 3 high stat track type tractor, limited edition brass model 1 of 300, scale 1/48. Same thing on both side flaps. Essentially the same thing on the back that I showed you. Underneath of the box, top left-hand corner, you can see limited edition serial number 50 out of 300. And CCM's information is down here at the bottom right. That's the box. Here is the certificate of authenticity. Back then, their certificates of authenticity similar to the original 12 brass 187 scale models. It was actually more of a business card than a piece of paper or a certificate. But nevertheless, it reads, CAT D5C Series 3 Track Type Tractor Certificate of Authenticity. It is hereby certified that the CAT D5C Series 3 Track Type Tractor, serial number 050, has been produced by Classic Construction Models and is registered as 1 of 300 in a strictly limited single edition. All right, we've got the paperwork done. Let's take a look at the model, shall we? Here she is. Just want to read you a little bit more information about the model and the real machine, and then we will take a closer look at it. So as I said, the D5C LGP, limited to 300 pieces worldwide, made mostly of 1/48 scale brass, released in 2001. It measures 4 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, and 2.25 inches tall. The real CAT D5C was introduced to the world in 1993. It featured the 3048 turbocharged 6-cylinder engine producing 90 flywheel horsepower. And as you can see on this model, it came with the APPI winch on the back of it. All right, so as you can see, I would categorize this as a forestry dozer. It has the sweep setup on it. It has the protection on the back of the cab, as you can see here. It has a winch for dragging along maybe some small trees or some small logs. And obviously you have your 6-way blade up here. You do have, which CCM replicated to perfection in my humble opinion, you do have your wide LGP tracks, not only on this model but also on the D4 that you'll see in a minute. You have to be very careful with any of these brass models, but you can get some very decent functionality and posability with this, particularly if you want to do it once and leave it on a shelf or behind glass. You can raise this, which I will not force, but you can raise it higher than that. You can lower it, and you can see that you can play with the blade both left and right motions. You can also move the tracks. You can actually move them pretty freely in both directions. But where brass models shine, in my opinion, are the small details. And they're hard to pick up on camera, particularly when you're using a cell phone for a camera. But all of your engine visibility, this is all perforated. Every spot is perforated through, including the front radiator guard. That's all perforated. You've already seen the guarding on the back side of the cab. You'll see the same thing on the D4. Your operator station is replicated the best that it possibly can be. It's honestly miles ahead of some of today's models. With gears, your different joysticks, instrument panel right up on here, which has been highlighted, and also some foot pedals as well. All of the track pads, they all have bolt detailing on it. Finally, turning around to the rear, once again, you can see the winch, which has some black string in there, again, to give it some detail. Your Caterpillar logos, again, very crisp, very legible. D5C, LGP, Cat, Caterpillar on the back, Caterpillar on the front. Just a fantastic model. Okay, that's the D5C LGP. Let's take a quick break to catch our breath. When we come back, we'll take a look at the D4G, so don't go anywhere. All right, everyone, thank you very much for sticking with me. Now we have the box or the packaging for the CCM Cat D4G, a track-type tractor, which is also a LGP dozer. It doesn't say it on the box, at least on this side of the box, but it does say it on the actual machine that this is an LGP setup. This is a much newer model by 5 or 6 years. It was made in 2005, thus the difference in packaging, the difference in box style. So this one you simply pop up. Here we go for the side, which tells you Cat D4G track-type tractor, 148 precision scale, all brass model. It is a little bit difficult to see, but I have serial number 047 out of 300. Unlike the D5, they made 2 versions of this, so follow me here for a minute. The first 150 have the ripper on it. The second 150 have the winch on it. So if you're looking for serial numbers and you pay attention to that kind of thing, if you're looking for a ripper, it will be somewhere within, the serial numbers will be somewhere within the first 150. If you are looking for the winch, the serial number will be somewhere in the second 150 in the production run. That's the box. Here is the serial number. You can see obviously now we're up to more of a card now, a much bigger card. CCM Cat D4G track-type tractor, handcrafted 148 precision scale, all brass model, serial number 047. It is hereby certified that the Cat D4G track-type tractor with the above serial number is an authentic, registered classic construction model, 1 of 300, produced in a strictly limited single edition. There you go. Now, on to the model. So, even though this is a D4 and the other one was a D5, in terms of actual length measurements, the measurements are identical. 4 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, 2.25 inches tall. I showed you already that there were 300 made, 150 with ripper, 150 with winch. This one released in 2005. The real Cat D4G dozer was released in the year 2001. It had a 3064 engine producing 80 flywheel horsepower. The real machine came in 2 basic main configurations. The standard model had a track gauge of 59 inches with 18-inch single grouser shoes. The LGP version, which is the low ground pressure version, had a 66-inch track gauge with 25-inch single grouser shoes. Now, as you can see here, I'm no genius, but just based on what the model says, D4G LGP, this leads us to believe that this is the LGP version of the 2 models. All right. Obviously, this has a ripper on the back, a 3-shanked ripper. You can see both fluid fill tanks here. Cat very crisp written across the back. Once again, you have your guarding over the cab. Another highlight are the very small and realistic looking. I don't know if I can put my hand behind it, if that gives you a better indicator and a better look at the hydraulic lines going to the cylinders on the ripper, but there they are. Again, very detailed operator station, foot pedals, levers, seat, obviously a black main control console there. Hand and grab rails, safety railings all the way around. You have your main sweeps. Again, personally, I'm a big fan of that. We don't typically see a lot of those here in, in Southwest Ohio, but overall I do enjoy the overall profile and look of these type bulldozers. Once again, see-through engine perforations on both sides and the front. Here's another large highlight that I like. Hopefully the light will catch it. If you look through the main radiator protection and guarding, you can see a yellow fan right there. Again, main difference, obviously, between this one and the other dozer, other than one's a D4, one's a D5, is this one has a ripper. The other one has a winch. They both have the similar blade style setup with a V-pat blade. Similar track style. There you go. That's what it looks like underneath. And now I will attempt to raise this up very carefully, move it a little bit, show you that there is a little play there. But, of course, I don't force anything on models that cost upwards of $1,000 in today's money. So that's a review of both the classic construction models, LGP dozers in brass, the D4G and the D5C. Have to say, honestly, if you guys ever get a chance to own these for a halfway decent price, I would not hesitate in adding either one of these to your collection. In total, there's only 600 of these in the world, 300 for the D4, 300 for the D5. One last thing I want to do before we sign off is show you what these two look like on a tag trailer. Now, obviously, these would look best on the CCM Trailer Max, or whatever it's called, the tilt-back trailer that CCM made in brass. I don't have one of those in my collection. What I do have to show you is the first gear tag trailer that was released a number of years ago. So we're going to pull that behind a Diecast Masters Western Star dump truck in 1/50th scale. So first we'll put the D4G on. Fits perfectly up there. The tracks and obviously the blade hang over the side slightly, but it's still a pretty legal load in most states here in the US. Zoom in a little bit so you guys can get a better look at that. There you go. So that's the D4 on the trailer. And last but certainly not least, just to change things up a bit, we'll put the D5C facing the other way. That will conclude this video. Please let me know what you guys think of these models. Would you like to add them to your collection? Do you already have them in your collection? Thank you all so very much for watching. If you take a look at your screen right now, you will see a couple suggested links for other related Diecast Emporium videos. Until next time, take care and be safe, everyone. Thank you so much again for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you in the next review.